got a big week ahead of us. You know, we were in full control over whether we won the regular season up until Saturday. Obviously, disappointing loss to Tennessee, but we've still got a shot. And like I told our guys, even if this is a good life lesson, there's lots of things in life that you can put everything you got into it, and you may not get the results you want, but you still need to put everything you have into it. I kind of talked to him about, you may go for a job interview, you have no idea, you could hit it out of the park and do the best you absolutely could and still come up second and not get the job. We could hit it out of the park, go 2-0, still not win the league. It's still the right thing to do. It shows character, and we have no shot of winning it if we don't come out and go 2-0. So we got to come out ready to play, give it a championship level effort, and let the chips fall where they may with Tennessee's 2 games this week. But yeah, I also told him we got to be playing our best basketball. I mean, I talked to him about UConn last year. UConn did not win the Big East. You know, they didn't win the regular season or the tournament, to be honest with you. They came and won a national championship. So, you know, there's things teams are playing for beyond just the one game in front of them. But we've got to get momentum going into March for the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament, and we need to be playing our best basketball. I thought we made a jump. We just, you know, when we went back and looked at the Tennessee game, there was a 13-minute stretch where we had 21 possessions. We were 1 for 17 on our first shot. Field goal attempts with 4 turnovers on those 21 possessions. Like, our defense needs to be better. We know that. I felt like our offense cost us that game more than anything against Tennessee. So I told our guys, we've got the #1 offense in the country. It needs to look like the #1 offense in the country every game for the entire 40 minutes. We can't leave us for a 13-minute stretch where we took a bunch of poor shots and had some, you know, bad turnovers. So, you know, we keep stressing defense, and our defense has to get better. I thought our defense was better. We played harder, but, you know, our offense left us for over half the second half, and we didn't play very well. So we got to have both going. Championship teams have great offenses and great defenses at the same time. That's where we got to get to. But, you know, Florida's good. Shoot, they almost beat us here. You know, we were down double digits with less than 10 minutes to go and had to come back and get to overtime. You know, they do a great job on the offensive glass. You know, Hanlagden at 9 offensive rebounds against us here. We've got to do a much better job with their bigs, keeping them off the boards. Our guards are going to have to get in there and help rebound. Thought we did a pretty good job on our offensive boards. It probably won us the game. And we didn't do a great job of that against Tennessee. So we got to get back to where we're crashing harder and being good on the offensive side with the rebounding as well. But, you know, Clayton's playing well for Florida. He had 27 against us. He's playing really well. You know, Poland's leading the league, I believe, in assisted turnovers, so they got a point guard that doesn't turn it over much and really sets their offense up for them. And then their bigs are tough, physical bigs that can go get rebounds and, you know, do a pretty good job scoring as well. Samuel, I think, leads the SEC in field goal percentage, so they're playing pretty efficient basketball.
Start with Charlie on the right.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of outlined some of your messages to the teams. How do you feel like that's been received in this kind of quick turnaround before the game?
Yeah, I think, you know, we laid it out for the guys where we stand, what we have on the table. And then my biggest point was, like, if you're a high character competitor, you compete no matter what's on, you know, on the line. Like, we got to come out and play. I thought practice was good today. I thought the intensity was good. It was short. We didn't, you know, we probably went an hour 20. We didn't go super long, but we didn't practice yesterday. We just, you know, went over a video of Tennessee and Florida, but we got one practice in today, and I thought it was good, hard, crisp. You know, I like where our heads are at. I think we'll come out ready to go.
Tony.
Kind of on that note, Grant was coming off of a tough game, but then he had probably his best game in a Crimson Tide uniform last time you guys played Florida. What do you see from him heading into this one, and how can you kind of take what he did last game?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if, you know, he didn't have cheap fouls called on him. I thought those last couple were a little tough. I mean, he's boxing out and ends up on the ground, ends up with a foul on him somehow that, you know, if he can stay out of foul trouble, and he's had, you know, not as bad as Nick and Mo have been, but all of our bigs have had an issue with being in foul trouble. If he can stay out of foul trouble, I think he can have another good game, because they typically play two bigs, so one of them's gonna have to guard him, you know, and he's been able to pull him on the perimeter a little bit, you know, and their bigs are good. They're pretty athletic. I don't think any of them are quite as athletic as Grant is. And, you know, he's able to get by guys. I thought he played well against these guys. Like you said, it might have been his best game he's had since he's been here. So if we can keep him out of foul trouble, get his confidence rolling, you know, we didn't play Florida that long ago. He probably just played his best game against them in an Alabama uniform, and it was within a couple of weeks. So yeah, we need him to play well though.
Chase.
Where do you stand on guys shooting three-pointers when their feet are way behind the line, 25 feet, whatever? I think every once in a while Sears will let one fly from that deep. I mean, are you good with those, or do you want those toes on the line or near it?
Listen, I'm much more concerned with that they're uncontested. We call them uncontested shrink threes. The defense is shrunk in, kick it out, nobody's contesting it. Than I am how close to the line it is. Like, I thought we took a lot of contested non-shrink threes against Tennessee, and that was an issue. Sometime now, Sears can make them from pretty deep. We chart them too, like off the line, on the line. Some guys, if they're off the line, like you were saying, 24, 25 feet, if they're off the line and their percentages are pretty close to being on the line, a lot of times they're uncontested back there. I'm good with them taking them. Like Shackelford that played for us a few years ago, had really deep range, could shoot them off the line. Deeper he was able to space, the more the floor got opened up. I was great with it. The guys whose percentages are not that close, they need to be stepping, you know, from basically NBA 3. We got a 4-point line about 3 feet past that, but they need to be stepping from 4-point line, NBA 3 into college 3 to make sure they're within their range. But if Sears has pretty good range from deep, like if Charlie Wrightsville can shoot from deep, if we ever get him back, you know, I don't mind some of those guys that are able to shoot them from deep, space on the floor, so we get even more space on the floor. So I don't mind it. Certain guys.
Kelly.
Yeah, speaking of Wrightsville, I mean, how we saw him in warm-ups. I mean, how's he progressing? And just another question too on top of that, with him out, how has that pressed guys like Sears and Estrada in terms of how you use that against their play?
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing some basketball skills. He's got to get to the point where he can practice and then not have any type of headache the following day. You know, we were on him. He was on a comeback protocol and then got reset because he had a setback in it. So it'd be nice to get him back. Again, it's day to day. You got to see how he's able to respond. You know, the next mornings, because then if, you know, once they go back to having a headache, they kind of start back at day 0 again. But he's coming along. As you can tell, he can shoot. You know, he wasn't doing anything live yet then. But and then the second question, sorry, was what?
Yeah, just essentially without Latrell, how has that forced Mark and Estrada to press more? You guys use him more?
Yeah, I you know, we've had our lower transition games on offense. I think our 2 lowest these last 2 games. When our depth in the backcourt wasn't where it needed to be. I mean, Sears is playing almost 40 minutes a game. I think he did play 40 minutes at Ole Miss. Aaron's playing high minutes. They're probably, there's no problem. They're both playing too many minutes. Like, we need to get a little bit better rotation. Ryland probably played too many minutes. You know, he's a guy that needs to be fresh. When he's fresh, he's really good. He's taking good shots, getting the old board. So, you know, we need Sam and Davin to probably give us a few more minutes and play well for us to kind of get those guys a little more rested to keep the, you know, we got to keep the pace up, keep our foot on the gas, if you will, because we haven't been playing as fast as we'd like these last 2 games.
Kennington.
Continuing on the Mark Sears point, he was named a finalist for the Bob Cousy Award. What's impressed you the most about his progression from last year to this year?
Yeah, it was nice that the committee recognized him. You know, I think they had the mid-season one where they think it overlooked him. So I think he's definitely one of the best 5-point guards in the country. You see his defense has gotten significantly better over the last month, few weeks. And I would have to go look at all those other 4 other players. I think there's 5 on the finalists to see what the efficiency numbers are. My guess would be he's the most efficient one. He's not a guy that takes a lot of bad shots. He's not a volume guy that needs 30 shots to get his points. I mean, he's had big scoring outputs on 10 shots, this year. And he's super efficient. He scores the ball at a high level. He makes the right reads. He's been great getting in the paint, finding his teammates. He's becoming a much better screener lately. I don't know who's leading the league in scoring right now. Him and Connect are kind of neck and neck right there. But, whether he's first or second in the league in scoring, he's been up at the top, and he's being a great teammate, knowing that teams aren't helping off him. He turns himself in. The lob play we got for Pringle with the and one, he set a great, rib screen to get Pringle to the rim. So I think he's about winning, as evidenced by his great screening, his decision making when he gives the ball up, his defense. When you're about winning and your team's winning, you should be recognized when you're putting up the numbers he does. And I think that's the case. I think maybe he was overlooked, when they came out with the first 10, because we weren't winning at the level we needed to be. Now that we are, why is Alabama winning? Well, he's a huge part of why we're winning. And it's not just scoring, because there's some guys that score the ball at a pretty high clip but need 25, 30, 35 shots to get it. He scores it super efficiently, makes the right reads. His defense has got significantly better. He's become one of our better defenders here in the last few weeks. I thought his defense was really good against Tennessee. We need it to be great tomorrow night against Florida too.
2 more, son.
The trio of Clayton, Pullen, and Richard scored 61 and 93 in the first matchup. What makes them so hard to guard, and what do you just think about that Florida backcourt in general?
Yeah, they're good. Pullen doesn't turn it over, finds those other guys. Clayton's scored 27. He's super talented, can really score, makes tough shots. And I thought they broke us down too much. I thought Richard got stuff. We get broke down, the ball gets kicked out to him. He's a pretty efficient player too. He doesn't take too many bad shots. He gets the rim and finishes the rim. We lost him a couple times on that. So, yeah, and they're a good offensive team. I think we're first in the country in scoring offense. I think they're 12th. So, their guards are skilled, talented. Their bigs know how to get them open. Their bigs are great screeners. And they're not relying on their bigs to score a ton. I think, they've got 4 bigs. They play 2 of the 4 almost all the time, and those 4 guys know how to get those 3 guards. I think Kugel, when he's playing, he didn't play much against us here, but he's been playing a little more lately. You kind of had Kugel that mix. Those 4 guys in the backcourt score a ton of points, and those bigs know how to get them open. They set a lot of screens for them. So our guard's going to have to navigate screens. We're going to have to do a better job. They scored some in transition on us the first time that we give up some easy ones. We got to do a better job with that.
Last one, Kurt.
Not talking X's and O's or personnel, but you just had a game like less than 2 weeks ago against this team that they probably thought they should have won, and your team did win. Is there a mental edge for either side on that, or do you know, or is it possible?
I guess we'll see tomorrow. I mean, it's a tough thing with the psychology of revenge games. Yeah, they all played us for 30 minutes in the game. They had a 10-point lead with less than 10 minutes to go. So, I'm sure they feel like they were a better team for a majority of the game. And then, it took us overtime to get it. I did think we did a great job coming out of the overtime well, but, we also, if I remember correctly, I think, was that our first game without Reitzel? If I remember right? Yeah, so we were we'd been playing pretty good basketball with him playing. And we had to figure out what we were going to do without him playing. And we've done a little better job figuring it out. We've played better. We obviously didn't get the win against Kentucky or Tennessee without him. But, I think we know what we're doing a little better without Reitzel for the second time. Cosby wasn't really playing back then. He's got more confidence. He's playing well. We can get a little bit better rotation in the backcourt with Cosby playing. So, I think we'll be better. I'm sure that they're going to have some confidence and a little bit of revenge factor, like they feel like they owe us one, but it'll be a good game. I mean, the team that plays harder and executes the best is gonna win this thing, and I think whether we've got a psychological edge or they do, I'm not sure, but we're playing for a championship, they're playing for seeding. We both got a lot to play for, and we just gotta come out and take care of business.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.